Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh here on Sunday, 7th December 2025 with FLOSSTUBE number 295. Welcome back to my weekly YouTube channel about counted cross stitch. I'm going to straighten you up a little bit. I just literally stopped the recording from my tea tasting for my FLOSSmas. So I guess that was a little bit of a surprise for some of you. The whole not-Flossmas, because there's nothing stitchy related. But when I shared that I had an advent calendar, my tea advent calendar a while ago, a month or two ago, several people said, oh, I hope you share the tea. So decided to do that. And then of course, in the meantime, I had purchased a Pepper and Me box. So I'm just doing that and it's been a little bit of fun. So yeah, I'm sipping on the, no spoilers because the video would have been up before this one, but my China Jasmine. And I quite like it. It's very, not black tea, but I really quite like that one. So what's been up this week? Oh gosh, what a week. I'm finding it so hard right now to get through work. Like, I just have no energy. I think I'm still getting over the fatigue from the sinusitis and just general, oh God, I need a holiday. When I say holiday, what I mean is I just need to be not at work and not doing anything for like a week, which is the plan for, I've got 2 weeks over the Christmas break and it cannot come a moment too soon. I am just hanging in there. So what have we got? 3 weeks to go? Or less than 3 weeks to go. I could do math. So the 24 minus 7, 17 days to go. I will be working right up till including Christmas Eve, although I imagine that might be a bit of a write-off that day because most of our customers won't be at work. But we might be doing a bit of getting ready for Christmas, which for me is sitting on the couch. But yeah, so I had a pretty rotten, I didn't get a lot of stitching done this week. And then I'll show you 3 projects. You'll go, that's quite a lot. I'm like, not for me, it's not. But that's no, it's just a fact. This is what it is. I didn't stitch for most of the week and I was out Thursday night, went to a movie, went to Knives Out. The third movie, I think it's called Dead Man Wake Up. The third Knives Out movie. All 3 of the movies have had very different, they've been very different. They're not following a formula per se, which I think is kind of refreshing. I do think the first movie was my favorite. I loved the set, the house, all the objects, the kind of it was really like a little bordering on slapstick. It was so funny. The other 2 have been more, I think the second one was a little more serious, but a bit weird. I probably preferred like movie 1, Knives Out. My second favorite would be the one I just watched, Dead Man Wake Up. And then the third favorite, my least favorite, would be the last one, The Glass Onion. I don't like that one so much. But this one was, different kind of premise. Like the first third of the movie, maybe third, I'm not sure how long, it's just over 2 hours long, was like this young priest telling the backstory. So you don't even see Benoit, the Daniel Craig character, until after he sort of told his story to bring the audience. It's like he's narrating and telling the police the story kind of thing, until he's told the story, until the murder happens in the backstory. And then Benoit arrives, Benoit Blanc, and a couple of outstanding actors in there, like the Glenn Close character was hilarious. I mean, she was this passionate, very religious, but like, extremely religious, devout woman, not devastated, dedicated to the church and very loyal to Monsignor, whatever his name was. And then the Andrew Scott character was just funny, hilarious. He's been this American kind of not doing a so great writer, trying to write a second book, I think. And then there was Jeremy Renner's character, so unattractive. Like, I always thought he was quite fine. I'm like, not this character. No, definitely don't watch that to get your Jeremy Renner fix. He was not at all a pleasant character, but it was enjoyable. Then Friday night went to Louisa Coulimore, comedian, storyteller, very funny. She's very loud, and got home 10:30. So there was no stitching on Thursday, no stitching on Friday, no stitching on at least Monday or 2 days during the week where I just finished work and went straight and had a nap because I was just worn out. So it's been a weird one. And then yesterday went into Anne's to Jingle Ball. I was going to start a new project, a little Christmas related project, and I just didn't feel like it. So then I'd taken my little bag to do one of my the last Matryoshka doll, and realised I'd left the blank on the table at home, but I'll tell you about that when I get to my show off. So that was kind of fun. Christchurch gals joined from Christchurch on Messenger, and there were up to 4 of us at Anne's, and we just did a little bit of stitching. There was a bit of jigsaw puzzling, there was a bit of talking. Yeah, it was just a nice afternoon. So I got home, I left here about 4, got home about 5:30, so I stopped at the supermarket. And that's it. I did get a little bit of stitching done last night and a little bit this morning, so I've kind of made up for the rather neglectful week. I didn't get my secret stitching finished. I have done the stitching, but I haven't done the finishing because you know how good I am at finishing. So I'm still working on that, but I did, while I was at Anne's, I asked to borrow her cording device. So I would make cording by hand usually, but I need to make a lot of cording to finish quite a few ornaments. So I borrowed her cording machine. So hopefully if that works out okay, and then I might buy one myself, and then maybe I would finish things if I had that. So I need to get that done over the next, so I can get stuff in the mail before Christmas. Got a couple of little stitchy gifts yesterday, little Christmas gifts from Anne and from Judith. Made these lovely little Christmas trees. They are little lovely Christmassy fabrics, and inside is foam, and they are stitched, and then they have a slot. That's the other one. This is my one. So I now have another Christmas tree. So I'm just going to put it together for you. Basically just slides together. Isn't it adorable? It's so cute. So that is from the lovely Judith, and I will put that somewhere. Not sure where, maybe even in my bedroom. And then also she popped in a wee needle minder, so that she must picked up from Ginger Stitch in Australia. And it says, whip it good, whip it real good. So it's got a nice strong magnet, and now it's stuck to my table because my table has a metal frame. There we go. So that is really cool. So thank you to Judith. And then Anne had a little package. I'll show you the 2 little stitchy things and then the main event. So in the little bag had a tiny little bag of tiny little burgundy and hunter green and gold little tassels, and I actually have a plan for these, but it will be like a 2026 plan. I will share that when that plan comes to fruition. It's part of my smalls, so I'm going to put it with my smalls. And then also a skein of 115. I believe this has been discontinued, so good to have a skein of this. It's such a good, it's probably the best variegated, DMC's best variegated floss, I reckon, is this 115. It does look really good stitched up, but I believe it's been discontinued. And then the main event is this gorgeous little piece of glass art. It's a little, I mean, you can tell, right? It's a little Christmas tree. It's a little, I don't know what else to call it, glass art. So the card is from, it's Christina Bolanak, unique glass art with native timber. So the little stand is native timber, from Christina's glass art in Wellington. Here's her card. And Anne's got a couple of these just different ornaments. She's got these lovely set of penguins and a slightly bigger Christmas tree, but I think this is adorable. So now I've got another Christmas tree. I am planning to get my Christmas tree up today. If I do get it up today and fully decorated, because it might happen in batches. Whenever I get it up, I'll add it. I'll share that. And then I also bought, some of you know that one of the reasons I put up my Christmas tree is to hang my gin baubles. Yes, baubles filled with gin. But my Christmas tree, I pretty much just have gold and silver. So lights and gold and silver. And the gin baubles are like pastel and quite bright. They're kind of not my colours, but I enjoy gin. Maybe one day I'll paint them or something. I could probably get spray paint and paint them gold or silver. But at the moment they're pink and purple and yellow and green. But I bought a little 60 centimetre, so what's that? 2 feet tall Christmas tree. Not black, unfortunately, it is green, but it's for my dining table, and I'm going to hang my gin baubles on that. So when I get that up, I've got the tree up, I have to fill the gin baubles. I've got to get all the Christmas out, I just haven't. So thank you again to Anne and Judith, that was lovely. So I've got now 4 Christmas trees in my house, because I've got the big black one, it's not that big, but the big black one that goes in the lounge with the gold and silver, the little one now that's going to go on the table with my gin baubles, this lovely fabric one which I might put into my bedroom on the side table, and then this adorable little one which will go on a shelf. Huzzah. Okay, that was, I didn't buy anything else, so let's get on to the stitching. So Louisa Coulimore, picked her up twice, and probably put the equivalent of about 7 or 8 lengths of thread in, and so she is making progress, still on track to finish her before Christmas. So Louisa Coulimore from Hands Across the Sea, she's a Bristol orphanage something that I've personalised both. I've done some planned personalisations and I've done some accidental personalisations. She's one of my stash sample starts. I have been doing her as a stitch along with, and a start along with Narissa from Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle. She finished hers a week or so ago, and Judith from just Judith hasn't got a YouTube, and Judith is making a little bit of progress on hers. We both should be able to finish them before Christmas. So I'm stitching mine on 56 Grunard linen from the Wee Linen Company and Gütermann silk number 46, and here she is. I have finished all of that alphabet now. That I probably had to do about 2/3 of this alphabet. I was stitching it over 2 rows, and then I got that last little motif in. So all I have to do now are the 26 letters of this alphabet, so this big fancy alphabet. So I think even though it's a big alphabet, it's a nice blocky one. Everything's close to each other, so it's easy to count back, you know, if I start with the Z and then count back to the Y. Everything's only like one thread, or you know, you only have to count like one thread over or one stitch over, so it should go relatively quickly. I reckon a length of thread's probably going to get about 2 letters in, so that's about 13 lengths of thread. So based on my current performance, it's about 2 weeks, unless I just concentrate on it. I'm not promising to concentrate on it because I have no idea what this week will bring, but that's really cool to get her to that point where I've just 26 big letters to go, and then I'll probably put a date in somewhere. Narissa added a date over one, little block letters over one. She added her date in here. I'm not sure. I was thinking about I could put the date in above here or in the end here. I don't know, we'll worry about it later. So that is one whip. I did also pick up on when would I have done this? Whatever day I actually stitched during the week, like let's say it was Tuesday, pick a day, I picked up my Hands Across, nope, I didn't. I picked up the third chart, Blessings and Kind Wishes, this one here, from the Hutt and Home Patchwork. which is on the cover of A Heart Remembers, this Blackbird book. So picked up this one here, and I know that I watched an episode or an episode and a half of Shetland season 7 while I was stitching what I did. This was also a stash sampler start. Narissa's also stitching this one, as is Darlene for Darlene Dion Designs. Can't think if anyone else was. I'm stitching mine on 35 count linen dyed by me and using the called for overdyes. So I started this in September. I do hope to finish this year, but if I don't finish it this year, it'll be finished early 2026. I'm not too worried. So I didn't get that much stitched on it. I would have liked to have done the whole panel, but I just started at the bottom and I got all the grass in below the house, and that grass includes Smyrna crosses. You'll see that, probably see the texture more than you can the detail. So it's the same green, it's olive. So all of the 2 greens is in below from the grass down, and then there's quite a lot more green moss to go up the side. So got a good start, at least the foundation in, so I can bring the vines up the sides with moss, and then I can start getting the house in. There's a whole lot of detail in the house, so I'll probably stitch the detail first and then just fill in with the whitish colour. So probably, you know, maybe carry on with that today. I don't like my tea when it gets cold, so and then the third project I stitched on, as I mentioned, when I went to Jingle Ball, I took my little kit with my Matryoshka dolls and got there and realised that I had left them on the table from last Sunday when I showed you my progress, how I had stitched the third one as part of, I'd started that at the Wellington Region Stitchy Gathering, and then I'd finished it that evening. I showed you these 3, and then I showed you the big mama jama that I call the small, medium, large, and extra large. But luckily, my dear friend Anne also has these same blanks, and she hadn't stitched on it. So she ran upstairs and got me her blank. So then I've just put my blank aside to give back to her when I give her back her winding machine. Ow, I just banged my hand on the desk table. So I started my extra Mama Jama Matryoshka doll yesterday and probably got about 4 hours into it and got it just over halfway finished. So after dinner I carried on and did a little bit more, and then this morning I had to finish her face and the back stitching on her basically I had to finish her face, and her, I had partially started her face, so I filled in the rest of her face there. I needed to do the back stitching along that line and then put all the gold in. So got all the gold in. That's the only change I've made from the chart, is putting gold in these motifs, these embellishments on her dress, rather than stitching it in the flesh colour, which is what it's called for. So that's the big mama jama there. So yeah, started on the 6th, finished on the 7th. That's the whole set finished. I want to finish the back, so I want to get some sticky velvet, which you can't get in New Zealand. So I need to find some. I don't want to order from Amazon because Jeff Bezos is doesn't need my money. But I might have to order from Amazon. I think that's the only place I can find it that can ship to New Zealand at a reasonable price. But anyway, we'll see if I can find it somewhere else. I try not to buy from Amazon if I can help it, exception being some things from Kindle. But my Kindle was to save my sanity. And I committed to a Kindle. That's just how it is. So there you go. Here are the 4. So as soon as I can get some sticky back velvet, I just want sticky back velvet. Then I guess if I could find some velvet, I don't know, wait, that's the wrong side, Leigh. There you go. There are the 4 Matryoshka dolls, or finished. So they are from Happy Stitching, the blanks are from Happy Stitching Time on Etsy. Pretty reasonable shipping. They have so many blanks and you just fill up your cart. when you order these, the price they just says from X amount, and it's, you know, for one. So you do have to buy, you have to put all 4 in your cart. I think they have like a selection, right? You know, add all 4. But they're still reasonably priced, you know, just DMC. I use 3 strands of DMC for the crosses and 2 strands of DMC for the backstitch. Arguably you could probably do 3 strands for the backstitch. I think 2 strands is too thin for the wood. And I use a size 24 needle, one that's left over from Mill Hill kit. So really happy with those. They won't take much to finish, just some, yeah, glue some velvet on the back if I can't get sticky back velvet somehow, and then a ribbon or something through the top just to do that. So yay for that. So that's 4 finishes for this year. I did pull a couple of finishes to show you, just two previous finishes. They're both the last 2 long dogs. I've shown you all of my other long dog finishes over the last few months as I've gone through my previous finishes, but they were all like under the category of like mono or like 2 or 3 color finishes. These 2 long dogs are more multiple colors, so they're the last 2 that I have finished in my stash, in my cupboard of finishes. The older one, and this is one that was a whip when I started my channel. So I started the stitching in 2019 in August, and I started my channel in November 2019. So it was a whip, was one of the, you know, first things I showed as part of my channel. And I finished it on the 17th of March 2020. So just when we were going into COVID. Those days. So it's the Pilgrim by Long Dog Samplers. I stitched all my long dogs on 36 count linen. This was Picture This Plus in Legacy, and I used I had purchased a random pack of anchor floss. It was a $2 grab bag from when Nancy's were discontinuing carrying anchor, and they had all these random colors left over, and they just had grab bags of like 20 or 30 flosses for $2. So I just grabbed them and went, I'll use them. And so I challenged myself to use flosses from that random grab bag. So they weren't pulled together as any sort of palette, and I didn't use all of the flosses, but I challenged myself to use them to do the Pilgrim. And I know that Sally from Stitching Sally, Stitching Sally, oh my gosh, I've gone completely blank, just finished her long dog, her first long dog, which was the Pilgrim, so congratulations to her. So can I get this in the shot? So there is mine. So it's a very interesting color palette, very greeny, beigey, you know, the chocolate brown, and then that sort of, is this weird dusky, sort of fleshy pink color, and then I've got that brighter, what would we call it, terracotta color for like the foxes and stuff. So yeah, that is it. So I loved stitching this. It was such fun. And just choosing the colors, and I don't know, it was kind of a fun challenge to just use these random threads, which were really weird colors. I love the frog, frog's bottom, and just judiciously use the brighter color. So of course the 2 foxes, both the negative and the positive, and then a little bit down the bottom, just to yeah, I like how there's this little splash of that terracotta color. So that was finished in 2020, before the shit hit the fan, so to speak. And I love it, but you know, when's it ever going to get framed, and where the hell would I hang it? I have no idea. And the other one I've got is Hoity Toity. I don't know what happened with this. I must have taped this bit of paper. I wasn't buying index cards back then. I just taped random scraps of paper onto a random piece of card. Sometimes I stuck the fabric thing on the back. So this was stitched on 36 count Fijoa linen from Country Stitch. This Fijoa probably has a little bit more yellow in it. I think it can vary, like any hand dyed, right? and I used I wrote on here conversion yet to be finished. Actually, I used DMC and I ended up using most of the called for, but I changed a few, but I didn't write it down, so whatever. Started 1st of June 2020. So here is Hoity Toity. Again, largely the call for DMC, but I feel like I might have used silk for the black though. There might have been silks for you for the black. But otherwise DMC, and it's such fun. I love it on this fabric. It just gives a warmth to it. I love the border. I love borders, and yeah, I really liked this stitch. Did I change anything? Just changed it to my initials in the year. Other than that, no, it was, which was as charted. Kind of, yeah. I love it. I do enjoy a good long dog. And so that is my video for today, my FLOSSTUBE for today. I don't have much else to share with you, I don't think. I'll be back next week, as always. And hopefully for me, I have a more productive week, because I just would like to get a couple more things finished this year, and one has to actually stitch on them. But Louisa will definitely get finished, so she's my priority. I'd like to get that Home and Hutt and Home Patchwork finished, but that might not be until after Christmas. We'll see. And I'd also still intend to finish Helen Hallie, but I think I'm gearing up for her to be a New Year's Eve finish, like even if it's the afternoon, just so that because she'll then, finishing her will kick off my year of Celtic stitching, and that'll be a nice way to finish off the year. Those are kind of the main priorities, I guess. Okay, I'll see you next week. As always, take care, and find joy in your stitching. Good luck with silly season, and don't let your needles rust. Ciao.